can almost do it better if I just pick.
Okay, what is the progression when you do that? Okay, wow. So you don't even use the first string, the bass or whatever, the end one.
This is just a chord progression I remember from being a kid.
Oh, you mean you just made that up?
No, this is some song that I used to listen to a long time ago. I'm trying to remember the third chord now. No? Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, could you?
So
I
there's.
love the sound of it. Could you show me real slowly?
So between A and E, if you just do the same thing but just change the strings that you're on, and then that same pattern but you move down the set of strings.
Okay.
So there's all sorts of ways you can vary the picking patterns.
So you are always using 5 of the 6 strings for that particular.
It seems to be a popular one that
okay.
people when they start to just pick, I usually I default to that by habit, but there's different ways you can do. There's within every chord there is every note in that scale that you would want to use to solo in too. So for E there's So there's basically, if you go through the chord, you can hear the safe notes in there too, and you can pretty much play them in place. But there are, as soon as you get 5 frets up, everything repeats on the guitar, and in here is where it sounds a little bit more tonally. It's the same notes all the way up there, and you could do the same thing walking up this way using some of these strings too, or just right in line of the chord. Oh. Yep. And that's how I start my day usually, is just by picking a chord and then walking my way through all the notes that are kind of safe on it, and as I just stack it month after month, I pick a few of the songs that I know, and then once I'm playing, for instance, House on the Rising Sun, or Of the Rising Sun, oh wait, A, and then you can kind of, as you play around with the different chord shapes, you know which notes are kind of safe for those. And then there's an easy scale called the pentatonic scale pattern too. That once you find the key that it fits in, there's always a safe pattern to kind of follow then for it. So if you change the key, then the pattern would just move up a little bit. So
wow, that sounds so good.
It just depends on what you want to focus on, and I would concentrate on chords. It seems like right now, because that's
basic.
It's right where it seems like you are at the moment.
Oh, that's where I am, if I'm even that far. So what chords do you know then?
Let's try and get that F to be a little bit easier first, since that was like one of the first ones that frustrated you. Here's the really hard one, right? Yep.
Yeah, I can't even, my fingers won't even do that.
So try just holding down the first 2. Start with the first 2.
First 2, okay.
Yep, just barred across. Yep.
Whoop. Okay, let's see.
Yep, and then just stack your other fingers on the 2nd fret on that next available string, and the 3rd fret of the next one. stagger down like that. And then if you just skip the open E, because we're not holding that one down, you can pretty much strum the rest of the string safely. But the basis
Doesn't sound as good as yours.
the basis of the F chord is right down there. It sounds like the E string needs a little more pressure from the side of your knuckle there. Yeah. There you go. So that's one easier way. Another abridged version or way would be to play what they call a power chord. So that's just the octave of F right there, with this one right in the middle. So that's kind of like this would be more of a high-pitched way to play the F.
Okay.
And then if you held down just these two strings right here on the 3rd fret, and can reach that lower one right there on the 1st.
I'm not sure I did that. Whoop.
Just hike this one up north a little bit, and creating the gap between these is usually the most difficult part.
Ooh. No, that doesn't sound like you. No, that does not sound like
See
you.
how my fingers are a little bit more stacked
Okay.
at the fretboard versus rolled sideways?
Okay, at the fret.
Yeah.
Okay, right there.
Try to straighten, yeah, if you straighten the face of your hand out front a bit more, I find that usually helps. And then there is the option too,
Oh.
to do this if you want to create space. Just leave the middle finger, and if your pinky is pretty good, you can reach like that. So there's, as long as you're holding the strings down, it just depends on how comfortable your wrist is with that position.
Okay.
And there is some technique, or I guess some reasoning, to leave the middle finger open like that. For instance, if I were to want to play that minor chord,
Oh, okay.
if I was just doing these power chords, it would be hard to, I wouldn't be able to as quickly. But I've been playing enough where I'm used to doing things quick. Oh,
Could you show me the fingering again of the other alternate F?
yes. There's this one.
Or maybe the camera?
Yep.
Um,
So just the first two with the first string, and then make sure that you're holding both down, and then stack the next on the 2nd fret and the next available string on the 3rd fret. And that's the more high-pitched F alternative, where you are only holding down 4 strings. And then the lower-pitched alternative would be the first 3 strings. And that's however you want to hold it down, either using your first finger, 2nd and 3rd, or skipping your 2nd and holding down that way. And that's more of the power chord. So each chord does have a power chord correspondent to. A is also playable right here with these 3 strings.
okay.
E is also up here. G is right here. C. Oh, there it is. There's F too. So there's different places, there's many different places to play each chord, and that's filling in those gaps is kind of where I'm at too, trying
Okay.
to get them all to work together as well. But as soon as, like for the F chord, I worked on just these 3 chords that ended on this. This right here is G major as well. So that kind of helps me practice as I go down. I play this shape because it's right there, and then because it sounds a little bit different, I can slide up because I'm already in this position. And it allows for a little bit of variation when I play the G this way, going back down. So there's that way of doing it too. Try the other way of playing the F now. I'm not used to doing that F though, so it took me a little bit longer to set it up. You know?
So now, when you strum, you go down, down, up, down, down. Try that.
That's a very common one. And I just, honestly, I've played so many hours that I just kind of got it to where I can change it to whatever rhythm I want to use. When I actually play something, I've gotten in the habit of just kind of trying to carry the rhythm with my strumming as well. There must be some kind of way out here. Set the joker to the F. Too much confusion. I can't get no hold of the F. Businessman in, drink my wine. Wild man, take my earth. None of them were liable on the mind. Nobody up at his word. I haven't played for a long time, actually.
Oh, you are amazing. What is the name of that song?
That's All Along the Watchtower, but like slowed down
Okay.
a little bit.
Oh my
Dave
God.
Matthews Band played it that way, I think.
What are you waiting for?
I've
You're good.
been putting it off for a while.
Oh, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. You're really, really good. You know, there's Monday, what do they call them? I don't know. Down at the park anyway in Escanaba. You probably know about it. The Music Monday thing they got going.
I knew that they did like a band shell thing on Wednesdays.
Yeah, oh, it's Wednesdays? Oh, I thought it
Maybe?
was Monday.
I don't know. I'm just getting into it.
That's
working.
where you need to be.
Yeah.
You are really good.
I should really get on the open mic idea. I think the Ludington Grill would definitely have me since I'm helping them so much with the sound system upstairs when they have the loud concerts.
Yeah.
I told her we could easily sell much more beer and appetizers down here for you guys on a slow night like a Tuesday that you don't usually do it if we just had an open mic night.
That's right, yeah. You'd get
People
a lot
could
of
even get
people.
up there and tell jokes if they promised to keep it PG-13 or something, you know. So
Right,
open mic
exactly.
night is poetry too, so. Yes, you could come. You could do beat poetry.
Oh my goodness, you are amazing. Let me see what it's doing right now.
Yes.
I don't know if it's still going. Oh gosh, it's all